Alright, what's up, guys? Big Alice Fishing Tips here with another fishing tip. Today I'm going to go over my top 5 favorite lures to catch bass on. I've had a lot of success with these lures, and so I'm going to show you my 5 favorite lures for catching bass, especially when it's warmer out. You can use them when they're cold out too, but especially when it's warmer out, I like to use these baits. So let's get to it, and I'll show you my first bait. Alright, so the first bait I love to fish, my favorite bait, the bait I've had the most success on, is a Senko. A 4-inch black with blue speck Senko. See if you can see this little flecks of blue in there. Yeah, there you go. They're right down here. Or I'll fish a straight black too, but I really like that blue speck. So the two ways I'll rig it is I'll rig it wacky style, which is just putting that hook right through the center of the worm, like that. Or I will Texas rig it, which most of us know how to do. If you don't know how to do it, look up a video on Texas rigging. I can't do it right now. I'm kind of holding the camera with a hand right now, and I can't really Texas rig with one hand. So look up a video on Texas rigging. So that's my favorite bait. I love to fish this on the bottom, because that's the way it's intended to fish. But I'll fish this. I've actually caught my first bedding fish of the year this year with this bait. Actually, it was a straight black, but again, my two favorite colors are the black with blue speck and the straight black 4-inch. I do have a black with red speck with and a 6-inch, and I haven't done that well on it. I've caught 1 or 2 fish on it, but nothing huge and not that many numbers. So I'll put this on a 2-aught hook. Occasionally I'll go down to a 1 or go up to a 3, but I like to stay in a 2 because, as you can see, it fits pretty perfectly in there like that. That gives a good amount of action with this tail and stuff. So and when I wacky too, I'm not really too selective on my hooks whenever I wacky rig, as long as it has a sharp point. I'm not too selective about it. If you get a weedless hook, that's probably the best hook you go with for wacky rigging with a Senko. But I'm not too selective about it. So this is my favorite bait that I've had the most success on. I really encourage you to try it. It is a 4-inch black with blue speck Senko on a 2-aught Gamakatsu hook. Alright, this is my favorite bait to fish. I'll show you my second favorite bait right now. Alright, my second favorite bait to fish, especially when it's warm out, and it is a spinner bait. This one here is my favorite spinner bait. It is red and yellow with a big Colorado blade. Because most of the waters I fish are very muddy, so this yellow and red is a good combination, and this creates a lot of vibration. So I've done a lot of success with the spinner bait. I actually fished it yesterday and caught a nice 2-pounder, 2.5-pounder on this bait. So very good bait. I use it as a search bait. But I know Bill Dance uses it as a bottom bait, almost like a jig, almost like a swimming jig. Very versatile lure. Probably the most versatile hard bait lure that there is in fishing. I'm sure there's some out there. Wish I could talk for you guys today. I'm pretty sure there will be somebody out there that say, there's going to be, a rip and wrap or whatever. But to me, this is my most versatile bait, especially since if that wire is dead centered too, it'll make it practically weedless. So definitely a great bait to use. I love the Colorados and willow leafs because, as I said, most of the waters I fish are really muddy, so they give off the most vibration. Or not the willow leafs, the Indianas. I don't prefer the willow leafs because they look more like a fish and don't produce that much vibration. But if there's one that has lots of willow leaves on it or something like that, I might fish that, especially if it's white. So here's another one of my favorite baits to fish, especially when it's warm out. And right after post-spawn, too, was another great time to fish a spinner bait. So here's my second favorite bait to fish, especially when it's warm out, and I use it as a search bait. So this is my second favorite bait, and my third favorite bait is coming right up. And my third favorite bait to fish, especially when it's warm out, and the bite's kind of slow, is I'll fish a jig. This is a 1/4 ounce flipping jig in like a dark green color. I have a trailer, a little grub trailer on there, but it really doesn't matter what you use for a trailer. I mean, it does, but I mean, any soft plastic will work for a jig, just as long as you match up the color. This one, the color couldn't be any closer. So I really like this trailer on this bait because it's good action, especially when it falls. You know, when I'm flipping and pitching, it'll give great action when it falls straight down. So I like the trailer on this. It is 1/4 ounce, made by Strike King, I believe. It's called like a flipping bug, I think, something like that. 1/4 ounce, has a nice weed guard up here, has a really sharp hook. I've gotten lots of bites on this bait, but I think most of the fish that so I've fished this in small waters, and I don't think some of the fish are big enough to get the whole worm. They'll just get the whole worm, the whole jig. They'll just get the very back part, the tail right back here. So definitely a bait for bigger fish and not so much for numbers. If I'm fishing this around rocks, I will cut the weed guard off, not totally off, just very top part, almost even with the hook. So, because you really won't need that since you're going to be fishing in the rocks. But I always keep it just in case, especially in case I do want to fish it in grass. I still have a little bit of the weed guard left. So, my third favorite bait to fish, flip it, pitch it, cast it, let it fall, because it is only 1/4 ounce. So, let it fall for a little time. I like to jig it, especially with this trailer, like I've talked about. Pull it as high, well, not as high up as possibly can, but I'll pull it a few feet up and then let it fall back down again, and let it sit down there for about in between 7 to 10 seconds. Is usually seems a good time for me, but you have to experiment with your lake and your fish. So this is my third favorite bait to fish. When it's hot out and I can't really get the bites going, I'll fish my jig right here. So this is my third favorite bait, and my fourth favorite bait is coming up next. And my fourth favorite bait to fish, I like to fish this out when it's not as hot out, when it's bright early in the morning, or when the sun's setting, is a Zoom Fluke. This is not the Super Fluke. This is, they have 3 different sizes. They have the Super Fluke, the Junior Super Fluke, and the this thing is just called the Fluke. Right here on the bag, it'll say the Fluke right there, right there, the Fluke. It won't say Zoom Super Fluke or whatever. It'll just say the Fluke. And this one is in a baby bass color. I do have one in a smoking shad color, but I'll mostly use that in clear water. They do rip and tear very easily, pretty much like soft plastic. So you'll probably only get 2 or 3 fish per fluke. So that's why I have a lot of them. They come in a 10-pack normally. Right now, I think I have 15 in here because I bought 2 packs, and obviously I've wasted 5 of them. Do the math. So this is a very good bait to fish, especially when it's early in the morning. I like to fish these right when it's about 8 o'clock. Just when the sun's just getting over the horizon, just starting to get up. First light breaks the lake. That's when I'm start fishing a fluke. I will fish these with a 2-aught Gamakatsu hook, once I can find it over here in my box of stuff. One second. Here we go. I'll fish this with a 2-aught Gamakatsu hook, or I will fish it with a weighted hook. Or if you do not have a weighted hook present, you can take this and rig it up, and then right before you insert the hook into the belly, put a small bell sinker on the actual hook, and it will help it fall perfectly straight down, and that will help you get some more bites. The way I like to fish these, I like to just do normal on top, let it fall till I can't see it anymore, and then count to about 1 or 2. So I'll twitch. This bait will really give you some good action. Then I'll fall, wait till I can't see it, count to 1, depending on how deep the lake is. Then bring it back up and twitch, and go back down again. Almost looks like a dying. This case baby bass. Depends on what color you get. I really like the baby bass color. does have a fleck in there. I also have a chartreuse super fluke, and that seems does pretty well too, especially when it's muddy water. So this is your Zoom the Fluke, the Super Fluke Junior, and the Fluke. I like just the normal the Fluke in a baby bass color. One of my favorite baits to fish when it's cooler out, not when it's that hot out. So right here you have your baby bass, the Fluke made by Zoom. And my fifth and final bait is coming up next. And my fifth favorite bait to fish, I like to fish it when it's cooler out. That's why it is at a number 5. But still, it's a great bait. Is a jerk bait. I have these two. They're both made by Rapala. This one's more of a shad color, and this one's a fire tiger. This one's a little bit smaller than the other one, so it will not cast as far. But this one does have rattles in it, and so does this one. This one's white and almost a translucent color. So I like to use that in a little bit more clearer water and on bigger lakes because it's just bigger and it looks like a shad. And in your ponds, you normally won't have shad. So I like to fish the fire tiger in muddy water and smaller lakes. In bigger lakes with clearer water, I like to fish the shad colored one because it's a little bit bigger. They're both made by Rapala. But sometimes if I have a big lake with muddy water, I will still use this fire tiger. Pretty much anytime with muddy or stained water, I'll use the fire tiger. Anytime with stained or clear water, I will use the shad colored one. This one is a little bit bigger, so you will get a little bit less bites, and this one is a little bit smaller, so you get a little bit more bites, but it'll be smaller fish, and this will be bigger fish. So my fifth and last but certainly not least favorite bait to fish. I will fish this one a little bit colder out, and I believe this one, they're both floating. I know this one is floating, but I'm not sure about this one. I'll have to try it out. But, I tried it out before. I just haven't fished it in a long time. I got a hook in my finger. So, my favorite bait to fish, coming at number 5, is a jerk bait. This has been my top 5 favorite baits to catch fish on. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope this helped you out a little bit in your fishing experiences. It's been Big Al with another fishing tip with my 5 favorite baits to use to catch bass. And I hope you guys stay safe out in the water, and I hope you tune in again.